Hello and welcome. In the previous video, we have seen how to use spreadsheets, how to use rule templates, and how to create test scenarios for them, right? So far, in the past few series of lectures, we have seen how to use the rules in different formats, right? Behind the scenes, it is converting into decision rule language, and that's how your engine is able to communicate. In this video, we will learn about DMN. DMN, in short, is known as Decision Model Annotation. It is a novel way to model business decisions. DMN allows capturing and modeling business decisions in a way that is easy to understand, both with your business users as well as your subject matter experts. So this is like a new way of designing decisions. It has few advantages. One is like you can make your users or business users work with the tool which looks just like your process designer, where you can drag and drop things. And also it also gives you one other advantage, that when you think about rules in the previous videos, whenever we talk about rules, it's always business rules, right? We never look at the higher picture. We always go to like what is the operational decisions has to be made. So you directly jump into the decision making, right? But when you come to DMN, because it looks like a flowchart, you have an ability to see from the eagle's view and look at all your business decisions and figure out an optimal way. So this allows you a way to look at your rules in a different perspective. So without further ado, let's see what DMN has and what PAM provides for you to design a DMN process, right? So let me go forward. So DMN comes with a few nodes. You have around 6 nodes, I would say, right? It has like these things. You'll see a text annotation, a business knowledge model. Remember the shapes of these nodes. So this is how they are represented. Text annotation is nothing but where you want to write some comment or a description for your DRD, which is your decision requirement diagram, which consists of these nodes. Right? If you want to comment it or if you want to write something, you can use text annotations. Next comes your business knowledge model. This is like your reusable functions. If you want to use across in your decision requirement diagram, right? DRD, then you can use this business knowledge model. Next comes your input data. Input data is like the data which you pass for your DRD or decision requirement diagram to analyze or make a decision upon, right? The next is decision service. This is like you can group a collection of business decisions into a service like structure. I'll show you how it looks once I move it forward. Next is a knowledge source, which denotes the authority. I mean, like from where you're deciding the particular decision or something you are making, from where, what is the source of it. If you want to use that or name it, you can name it like a knowledge source, right? And the decision is what you will be mostly working on. Once you have input, you want to manipulate that and figure out based on the rules and finally provide an output. So that's how you will generally use. So let's quickly look what DMN is being provided by your PAM. So once you come to the decision navigator, so let me go back one step, and when you click on add asset, you have an option to choose DMN, which is your, let's give like my first DMN, and you may choose any package. Once you click here, it opens a structure something like this, right? This is an empty editor. So to the left you have these 6 nodes which we talked earlier, and this gives you a diagrammatic view. So if you design something like this, let's say I take an input, this input, and then this is your reusable function, right? And then you make a decision. So these two will be your input, and finally you make a decision out of it. So the reusable function, how does it look, etc., I will show you. But quickly see the decision graphs to the left. So this is how you can quickly go, right? If you have designed any decision inside it, and if you want to quickly go to it, you can just click there and it comes back. So this is your easy to move navigator to the left graphs. And if the decision components are too many, you may choose to select it from here, right? That, and then there is a the right side you have property section. This is where you configure all your node related information. So for example, this decision one, if you want to change the name, you can change it, and you can define a data type, like what is the output, what kind of data type it is. So let's say it's a string type. So you're saying that once the input and this function is used here, the output will be of type string. So in the similar fashion, you can do that here. So let me quickly show you the one which this traffic violation example comes with out of the box with PAM. When you install Business Central, you'll have it. I just did a little modification to show you this service and the usage of this, right? So we have two inputs, violation and driver. These two go to a service. So this is, let's go back to PowerPoint so that you can understand that. So this service is where you enclose a set of reusable decisions. So at this point, you can think that fine, and these are some reusable decisions that you put inside the service. The advantage with this is you can access or invoke this service from other business node or from externally from your Java or anything. So you can invoke that. So that is one advantage of using this. I was talking about this knowledge models, if you remember this one, business knowledge models or BKMs. These are reusable functions. So when you don't want to use field, so DMN in PAM uses field, which is friendly enough expression language. So I will talk about it a bit, but I'll also provide you resources where you want to study if you want to learn more on it. So if you don't want to use field or something, you can use Java. So there, if you want to use any functions, right, then you will use this business knowledge models. Let me show you quickly. So this is one. So I named it as sine, mathematical sine, cosine, right? So those things. Once you click here, you have an edit option. You see that I have used class of Java, and you also see that it supports three here. The field is what I was talking, friendly enough expression language. You may also use Java. The last one is PML. This is like your predictive modeling markup language. We are not going to touch on this, but you may also use PMML to design your decisions, right? And here what we are saying is I'm going to import this class Java lang math, and I'm going to create a signature of sign of double. So this particular reusable thing can be used in your decision here, right? And this is your input because it's in ellipsoid state, right? So ellipsoid one. So n will be your input, and this will be your reusable function. And see what I'm doing here. I'm calculating. This is a decision. So here I'm using that sign of n. If you see here, I use the name of the nodes, right? This is what is field, friendly enough expression language. So you can just directly use the node names and it will figure it out, and this means your DMN. So this is one. Let's get back to a PowerPoint. So the next important thing is you will be working mostly on the decision nodes, right? Decision nodes, you can use many formats. The previous we have seen sign of n, that is a literal expression where you use directly a field expression, right? The next other way you can use is a context. If you see here, this is a snippet I have taken from PAM documentation. So what it says is, should the driver be suspended, then you have something to the left total and you have some value here. This is your variable and this will be your expression. So you're saying that driver points plus violation points is what you're setting to this particular variable total. And then in the final you're checking if the total, which is a combination, so a summation of these two, is greater than 20, then else no. This is context. You will define your decision logic here mostly, and you finally resolve it. So this is the context. You'll be using this mostly. The next is you are aware of decision tables, right? We use this a lot. So whichever is in light blue color will be inputs, and the dark one will be dark blue is your output. And you know the different hit policies. You have unique, any, first hit, priority, like that. You have multiple ones. I'll list it down while I'll give you that what all hit policies you have. Generally, it is advisable to have a unique hit policy because that is the best, that best works with DMN, but nothing is stopping you from using other types of hit policies, right? And you can use relations, which is straightforward. So you see here, and you're saying that 1 into 2 is equal to 3 by 4, something like that. So relation is just like straightforward decision logic. You may also use functions, you may also use lists, so you have different formats to design your own decision tables. There's one more thing which I want to talk is about boxed expressions. So boxed expressions are like your enhancement to your context, like this. So it will be a little bit complex, but DMN allows you to do that. Let me show you quickly one thing which I took a snippet from PAM documentation. So if you see here, although it looks so intimidating, it's very easy to understand. The first line here is importing all the objects, data objects you are using, and these are like your variables in the context you have seen, right? A variable and its decision here. So you are setting 3 variables here, right? Next passenger. So this is about a flight. So if you have any missing flight, or if you don't have, so if the flight is delayed, etc., you are reassigning it to the individual passengers now. So to do that, they're going to this boxed expression, that they're going to sequence of decisions, and finally they're doing a false condition to achieve that. And you may also see that they are using these variables inside the other ones, so this is also possible. So once you define next passenger here, you are using next passenger here to get that value, right? In a similar fashion, you're using best alternate flight, which you are using here. So you may also see few functions. So this is the field language. We are talking friendly enough expression language. So you see that it is having some usable functions like append, remove will remove that particular element from that 0 to n. So if you are saying you remove the first element and something like that, append will add to the end of it. So if then so this is like a very simple way to design it. I'll show you a few functions in here. I'd suggest you to go through this. I'll suggest you to go through this particular site where it teaches you a quick start to DMN, right? So here they have something called field language. They've given a brief documentation of some useful methods and how it will work out. So if we understand this part, if something is true, then there's else more. You may also use loops in your field, but I will say avoid it as much as you can, because loops tend to get into infinite loop condition and you will have run out of memory and you have other issues. So avoid loops as much as you can. You may also use range here. So this 4 is a little bit important because they're gonna use this kind of ranges. So when you put something with a bracket and ends with a square bracket, then you are excluding this one. So you are excluding the one here. In the similar fashion, if you put bracket in the end, that means you're excluding 10. So that's why 10 in this is false. In the similar fashion, 1 in this is false. If you use square brackets, it includes both start and end. That's one thing you need to remember. And it also provides some useful functions for strings, like substring, replace, contains, etc. You may also use date functions, and here is where they use this append and reverse. If you remember, that is what box expressions were used, right? Append and reverse. So in this way, you can use your field language, and it's very easy and intuitive to design your DMN diagrams, right? With that said, let's continue on this particular sample which we get out of the box with when we install the business center. We'll talk what is violation, what is input subdriver, how are they calculating, etc.